Hey guys, in this Effect House tutorial I want to show you how you can create a quiz filter for TikTok. So when you tap on the screen, you will see a question and also a countdown. When the countdown is over, you will see the answer, and after some time it will go on to the next question and the countdown counts down, next question, and after some questions there will also be an end screen so the user know the quiz is over. So after this question, there's this end screen. So yeah, I will give you all the assets you need to follow along this tutorial. So let's start. Hey again, so let's create this quiz effect here in Effect House. Before we start creating the filter, please make sure you have ready all the assets we need to create this filter. If you don't have your own assets yet, just go to the description of this video. There you will find a download link and also a Figma file to all the graphics I will use in this tutorial, so you can download them and also follow along the tutorial. If you click on the download link, you will end up here on this Dropbox page. Here you can just click on download and then here just download. If you want to use the Figma file, you will end up here on this quiz template, and here you can, for example, modify the questions and also the answers and also the counter which we need for this filter. When everything is ready, just select all the artboards and then here on the right side scroll down and click on export layers. When you have them ready, just select all of them and then just drag and drop them into the assets panel. When you have imported all the assets, we can start creating the filter here in Effect House. The first thing we will do is we go to our scene and we create a scene object. I will group all my assets together at first. Just lay them out here statically on the screen, and then at the end we will just create a face tracker and then attach them to the face. So let's do this. So go to add object and here search for scene object. This is kind of a folder here in Effect House. I will just rename this scene object to quiz. Then we need another scene object. This will be the container of our question, answers and the counter. So make sure this new scene object is in the quiz filter scene object. So it's like a folder you can open and close, and this is inside of it. So I will just rename this to in game, and then we can start creating our images for this filter. So I click on add object, and here we will search image. Just insert the image. This will be a 3D image, and now make sure that you drag and drop it into the in-game scene object. So you have this tree here. So now just rename the image so we don't get confused. So this will be the question. Then we will just duplicate this image. This will be the answer. And then we also need an image for the counter. So also duplicate this again. So, and now I rename this to counter. So the next step is that I will set the textures here for question, answer and counter. I will just set the first question because of course we will automate the question and answers with an array. So yeah, just to see how they are looking on the screen. So the question, of course, select it, go to the right hand side. Here at texture, select just the first question or any other question. So we will just see how this looks on the screen. So for the answer, the same, go to the right hand side, set this to answer, and for the counter also go to the right hand side and set this to one of the counters. So you see the counter should just be above the answer and the question. So I will change this. So I will select the counter image, go to the right hand side, activate here this chain, and here I will set the scale to, let's say, 0.3. So now the counter is in the middle. We don't want this, so I will set this, the position, the Y position of the counter to 12 is too high, 3 is a little bit too low, so 3.5. Yes, this looks good. And here the question and the answer you can just play around with the visibility. This is the question and this is the answer. So this already looks good. Now we just need the last two images. This will be the start card. So when you open the filter, there will be also a start graphic and also an end graphics when the quiz is over. So again, we go to add object and search for image. So we create this image and also drag and drop it into the quiz scene object, not into the in-game scene object. So it will be outside of it. This will be the start. We can also set a texture for this because this will not change over the quiz game. So this will have the start texture. So it says quiz. And also I will duplicate this and this will be renamed to end. And I will also set here the texture to end. So thanks for playing. This will be the last slide we will see. So we don't need the start and the end image now. So we will set the visibility off. So they are invisible. And now we are interested in the in-game. So answer, question, and counter. So now we start programming this filter. The first step I will do is that I will create 3 arrays and then load all my graphics into the arrays. So we have 1 array for the question, 1 for the answers, and 1 for the counter. So we go to the visual scripting panel, click on the plus, and here we search for make array. When we have done this, we will find this array node here in our visual scripting panel. The first thing we will do is that we set the make array from number to texture. This will be our question array. So at the moment there is just 1 item, but of course we would need 5. So click on the little plus and until you have item 4. So 0 to 4, 5 items. Now we will set for item 1 the question 1, for item 2 the question 2, and so on. So now we have created our question array and now we can just copy and paste this node. Functions like in every other app. So when you want to copy and paste something. And here we will change the questions to the answers from 1 to 5 or whatever count you have. You can also have 10 or even less. So now we have successfully set up the answer array. Now also duplicate this and this will be the counter array. But this will have 1 more item in my case. So now we have set up all our arrays and now we can start with programming the logic of this filter. To get some items from our array, we will need another node. So we can go to the plus and here we type in get item from array. So we need 3 of them, of course, so also just duplicate the get item from array node. Here it is also set to number, but no problem. When we connect the next texture array output with the number array input, it will automatically set this node to texture. Now connect all of them. And now we are good to go. So now the next node we will create is an index node. This is kind of a counter, but it can generate us a loop. So it counts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can also set this to shuffle or to random. And yeah, if you want to have a fixed order of your questions, set it to loop. If you want to make the order different every time you load the filter, set it to shuffle. Don't set it to random because then it could be that one question appears multiple times in the filter. So I will set this to shuffle. From 0 to 4, if you have more or less, just type in for the 2 value your total amount of questions minus 1, because we start counting at 0. So now we have set up our index generator, and now we can connect the index number output with the index input of the question and also the answer get item from array nodes. The next step is that we will set our textures here every time this index generator gets triggered. So we go to the left hand side to in-game to question, and here next to texture we can find a little circle. When we click on it, we can here select set texture, and this will create a node for us. So now make sure this is the right get array item. So those are the questions. So item, the texture output gets connected with the value input. And here the next output of the index generator gets connected with the enter input of the set texture node. Now do this again for the answer image. So also go to in-game to answer, go to the right hand side, click on the little circle next to texture and select set texture. Now also connect this get item from array with the value input, and here we will not get the output of the index generator. We will work with the next output of the first set texture, because this will be triggered at the same time. So now we will set up the counter. So this also counts from 5 to 0. So we will go to add node, and here we will search for a transit by time batch. So now we have this transit by time node, and here we will set the from 5 or whatever number of counter you have. Maybe you have 10, you can set this to 10 to 0. So now we also need a round node. So just go to the current number output, click on it and drag it away, and then we can here search for a round node. Now we have to connect this round node, the output, to the get item from array from our counter array, and then here just connect it. Now we also have to set the texture. So go to the left hand side to the in-game, then to counter, go to the right hand side, here texture, click on the circle and click on set texture. Now connect the item texture output with the value input, and this will be updated during this transit by time is running. So the stay output gets connected to the enter input. Now we have to connect a few more nodes. So this index generator will get activated every time the transit by time node gets triggered. So the begin output of this transit by time will go to the enter input of the index generator. And also the transit by time node needs to be triggered. So we need a trigger for this. I will go with a screen tap. So when I tap on the screen, I will start this quiz. So I will add a new node, and here I search for screen tap. Now I connect the screen tap output with the start input of the transit by time node. Now we can almost test our filter, but we need to set some visibilities when we tap on the screen. So we will do this now. So when I tap on the screen, I don't want to show the answer. So I will set the visibility off for the answer, but on for the question. We can do this easily here after the screen tap. To trigger the screen tap just once, we also need a do once nodes. So go to the screen tap, and here we can just go to the output, click on it and drag it away. And then when we release it, we can search for a new node. So this will be the do once node. And when we insert this will automatically connected in between the first connection. So I will do the next steps all with this technique. So now we can, here behind the do once, we can set our visibilities. So drag along, and then here we will search for set visibility. Now this will be the answer. So the answer will be off. And of course we need another set visibility node, and this will be the question. And the question will be on, of course. So select the question image, and here don't forget to set the visibility on. Now when I tap on the screen, we should start with our question. So now this is not counting because we forgot something here in our transit by time node, because we have to also set a duration. This is measured in seconds, so I will set this to 5 seconds. And now when I click on the screen, it is also counting down. But when it hits 0, it doesn't show us the answer. So we will change this. So for this, we will go to the transit by time node, and this is also an AND output. So this gets triggered when the transit by time is finished. So here we will just do this again, and here set visibility, and here we will just set the visibility off for the question, and then we will set the visibility on for the answer, of course. So now visibility on. Now when we tap on the screen, wait our 5 seconds, the answer should show up. And now we want to circle this. Also, I want to set the visibility off for the counter. So this is more obvious that this is the answer. So we need another set visibility node. And here the target will be the counter, and this will also be off. Now I want to circle this through. So every time the answer shows up, it stays for like 3 seconds, and then the next question comes up. So for this, we need a wait node after this counter. So I will search for wait for seconds, and here I will set this to 3 seconds. Now we have to connect this wait node with the start input of the transit by time. But I also want to set the visibility on again for the question and off again for the answer. So this will be the output of this wait for seconds will go to the input of the answer. So it starts this again, and then also starts again the transit by time. But we will set the visibility off here when the answer shows up for the counter. So we have to also get it back. So we also have to add another set visibility here in front of the transit by time. So do this again, search for set visibility on for the counter. So now it should work perfectly. So now we have almost finished our filter. We just have to set up the start and the end, and also the amount of question the filter should give to me. And I will set this to, let's say, here, 3 questions. To set this up, we will go to the set texture of the answer, so the last of those 2. So this is connected with this, and this has a free output, and this will get connected to a counter node. Then we will have to check the number of this counter, so it counts every time we set an answer. So counter, and here we have to search for greater than. So when the first input is greater than the second, so this will be 3, the second input, then this will be true, the output. So then we need also a if node. And now we can connect the next output of the counter with the enter input of this if. And when if is true, we will set the visibility off for the game and on for the end. So if this is true, set visibility off for in-game. So we can now select the whole folder. and on for the end. On for the end card. So that we also have to check this also gets done once. So we will also add here a do once node between the if and the set visibility. So now after 3 answers and questions, this should be disappear and the end should be visible. But of course we need also the start at the beginning so that it greets us with quiz filter, and then when we tap on the screen this changes to the in-game. So let's create this. This will also be done here at this after the do once, but in front of this junction here, so in front of the answer set visibility. So here we will insert a new node, and this visibility node will set off the start, but at the moment we see no start, so go to the left hand side and set the visibility on for the start. So now we have the start, and we'll set also the visibility for the in-game. So visibility on for in-game. But of course we also have to turn off the visibility here, so it is at the beginning turned off. So now it says quiz, and now when we tap on the screen it changes here to the first question, and after 5 seconds it will give us the answer, and then it will show us the next question answer, and this will be now the third question, and after the answer we should see the end screen. Yes, thanks for playing. So yeah, this was all the magic about the quiz filter, but now we want it also on our head, as I said at the beginning. So we will add a new object. We will go to AR tracking and here for head tracker. This gives us this new object. We can delete this head object in it, and now just drag and drop the quiz scene into this face binding. Now it is following my face movement, but I want it a little bit more up. So I select the quiz scene object, go to the right hand side, and here I will set the position of Y to 12. In my opinion, it could also be a little bigger. So go to scale, activate the chain, and I will set this to 2. Now it's pretty big, but looks good to me. Now when we tap on the screen again, the quiz starts. So yeah, I hope this tutorial was helpful and now you were able to create your own quiz effect here in Effect House. If this tutorial was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, it would be nice when you subscribe to it. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!